Welcome back to the Chronicles of an African Diaspora Nurse. Thank you so much for tuning in again. From my previous video, which featured the Ghana Nurses Association, the association is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And so this evening, I have with me here the chairperson of the Ghana Nurses Association UK in the person of Mrs. Martha Nugent. So, Sister Martha, welcome to the channel.
Thank you for taking the time to showcase GNA-UK.
You're welcome. Welcome. So, we're going to talk about the history of GNA and what GNA is all about. So, can you start by telling us, when was GNA-UK formed?
GNA-UK was formed in 1993. It was formed by 5 nurses. These 5 nurses formed the association due to a tragedy. A nurse died, and that nurse had no one in this country. So these 5 nurses came together and gave her a befitting send-off. And after the funeral, they decided, why don't we form a group so that if this should happen again, we can support each other. So they formed the association, and the core mandate was support for each other.
Thank you so much. So it's been 30 years, and currently, yes, what are the aims and objectives of Ghana Nurses Association UK?
The well-being of nurses, midwives, health visitors living and working in the United Kingdom, as well as their advancement in education and career progression. We also aim for working with other charities, welfare groups, to promote health in the community, in the UK and in Ghana.
Thank you so much for that. So in terms of growth, how many members do you have currently?
Currently, we have 426 members.
And what are some of the projects that GNA UK is engaged in?
In the UK, I'll start with the UK because that's where we live. We have a project. We have a designated diabetes awareness group who go to churches, associations, and communities to reach out to members, promoting health and educating them on diabetes. We also support food bank in Peckham. Why Peckham is because our office is based in Southwark, and we wanted to be affiliated to Southwark. So we chose to donate twice in a year to Pecan Food Bank in Peckham. Also, at the end of every year, our sectors donate to Evelina Hospice, Shaw Start Merton, Mines, and Whitechapel Homeless. In North London, we donate to churches. So we do a lot in the community in the UK. In Ghana, we support young adults in her midwifery training in northern Ghana. She's now in her 3rd year. We also work in collaboration with Trio Bridge Foundation to support Methodist Health Institute for Nursing and Midwifery in Afosu Eastern Region. What we do for this school and students is mentoring, coaching, virtually and face-to-face. Last year, 2 of our nurses did a session with the students and donated nursing books, and mannequins, pregnant mannequin, and one for catheterization. We also support a foundation called RIMA. RIMA supports young adults with alcohol and drug abuse, and there is incidence of teenage pregnancy. What we do for them is we donate books, we donate equipment, we donate clothing to them yearly. We have set up a scholarship system to support a student doing nursing or midwifery for 3 years. When the first student is in third year, we will sponsor a second student. So at the end of every third year, we will have 2 students supporting them with their nursing or midwifery. Our criteria is for a student from underprivileged background, 18 to 21, with aggregate 12 to 16, who aspires to be a nurse, a midwife, or a midwife. So that starts in January.
That's laudable. So all these activities, there's money involved. So how is the association founded? And who are your stakeholders?
The association is funded through our dues. We pay £10 a month. We do a lot of fundraisers, and we every year we go on a sponsored walk to raise funds. During the Nurses Week in May, we have a Thanksgiving service and fundraising. And then at the end of the year, we do normally November, October, we will have a dinner dance and fundraising. And then at the end of the year, nurses from the sectors donate voluntarily to support cause, because last year, one of the sectors donated their money to, they donated the money towards PPEs for Accra Mental Hospital. I forgot to mention the donations we've made in Ghana during the pandemic. In the midst of the pandemic, we donated PPEs to Volta Region Whole Hospital, Cape Coast Hospital, and Kufuridua Hospital. At the beginning of last year, we also donated to Odumasi Krobo General Hospital. We donated not just PPEs, but consumables that were donated to us from Western Railway. We also donated to Accra Mental and Somanya Polyclinic. So we do make a lot of donations in Ghana.
With the stakeholders, can you tell us a bit about the stakeholders?
Well, our main stakeholders, I'll say it's the members. Our patrons are also very generous. They make substantial donations when we have fundraising. We are really hoping for donors and philanthropists, but we haven't got there yet. So at the moment, and I will say Florence Nightingale is also a stakeholder. Other international nurses and midwives also support us, because whenever we have functions or activities, they support. Trio Bridge, being our partners, are also very supportive, and other Ghanaian nursing associations also do have a lot of interest in us, and they support us in raising funds. With our 30th anniversary coming, we have had some donors, Polonia and Unity Link. They are supporting us, and we seem to be getting there.
Yeah.
And Because we're a charity, we also get gift aid, and that's also boosts us up to be able to support.
How are you promoting relationships with the other international nursing association, and what are the benefits of working in collaboration with them?
The benefits are networking, exchange of skills and knowledge, and supporting each other. When they have functions, we attempt to support them, and the vice versa. But there is a lot of networking. We share ideas. There's a lot of education amongst the international nurses, which is a great help. Because some of them started before us. The Jamaicans are 45 years old. We have learned from them, and they also learned from us. So the main thing is the networking and that support for each other.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martha. So when it comes to challenges as an organization, what are some of the challenges that you face, and how have you managed them, either implementing projects here or back in Ghana?
Implementing projects in Ghana, particularly if we want to send items to Ghana, shipping it there and clearing in Ghana can be a major challenge. Sometimes this tend to discourage members from making donations to be taken to Ghana. And occasionally some resistance, but it has not been a major problem. We do persevere.
Yeah. You mean resistance from?
Well, human nature being what it is. Sometimes you are made to feel as if you are intruding. Yes, and that naturally people will feel that way if you come to invade their privacy, or they feel you want to come and take over. But that has not been a major problem. We do what we have to do because we are there to support the community.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think this comes up again and again, and I think there is the thought that sometimes people feel threatened, or sometimes maybe the way we portray ourselves when we go to help, that it's like, yeah, we know best. But I think it's always good to work collaboratively. And someone said that they're on the ground, they know what's happening. So it always works out when people feel that their experience or their views are taken into consideration. So we'll persevere. Thank you so much for that.
We want to reassure them that we are there to learn from them and for them to learn from us.
Yeah.
None of us know it all. So it's a matter of exchanging our skills and knowledge.
Yeah, true. Thank you. So the issue of internationally trained nurses, I think we all know that there's always been nurses migrating to the Western world, but I think the rate at which it's happening within the last, I would say probably 6 months or more, is very fast. And with the influx, there are so many issues that are coming up. So tell us a bit about the work you are doing with internationally trained nurses who have arrived and are going through different kinds of issues.
Last year, July, the Florence Nightingale Foundation and NHS England awarded us funding to support internationally educated nurses coming from Ghana. This was to help with the recruitment issues, and there was there is an influx from Ghana, which has been perceived in Ghana as a brain drain, and it's perceived here as a brain gain. So what we are supporting them with is the pastoral care. We developed a leaflet and distributed to hospitals and care homes for internationally educated nurses to be signposted to us for us to support them with coaching, mentoring, and nurturing, and to help integrate them into the British way of practicing and living.
Yeah.
So we did this, and we also developed a handbook for them to know what the policies and to be conversant with the guidelines that you needed to be able to work within a care setting in the United Kingdom. Most of them are supported by their hospitals. Where we come in is the culture differences, because there is nothing like someone who understands your language, someone who can translate what you're having difficulty with into your language for you to translate it back into English. So, and sometimes coming across things on the walls that you don't understand, just having someone whom you can phone and say, oh, I saw this and they said this, what did they mean? If you're not comfortable asking, because sometimes our own nurses here do not help the situation by making people feel, oh, I thought you were a qualified nurse in your country. They assume we should know as nurses coming from other countries, but the gadgets are different. The language is different. The terminologies are different. So what we need is to be patient with our newly arrivals and help them understand that if you keep saying things like, I thought you were a nurse in your own country, these nurses will have difficulty coming to you to ask questions if they are not sure. And this affects their confidence.
Yeah. So you've touched, some of the difficulties, you've touched a bit on it. It looks like settling into the world culture and how to do things. But can you give us other examples of other specific difficulties that these nurses are going through?
What some of these nurses are going through is not knocking the agencies. Agencies are bringing them in. These nurses are coming in unprepared. They are promised a lot of things and they come here and it's non-existent. And they struggle with accommodation, they struggle with work. Some of them are not even given the hours that they were promised they're going to work. They have paid money, and if they are not able to get the hours to survive in this country, it makes things very difficult for them. Now, the funding that we were given, it's not to pay for accommodation, it's not to be handed to the nurses. It's mainly educating them, seeking their well-being, recreational activities, and giving them, allocating them bodies that will support them, that will give them the one-to-one for them to just settle in this country.
Yeah.
The preparation is what is important. What they need to do is to do their groundwork. You search on the net, find out if the agency that's bringing you is a reputable agency, because some of the agencies are excellent. They come in, accommodation waiting for them, they are picked from the airport, they're given time to go and register with a GP. They take him to the bank before they even start work. So some of them are really being supported. The sad thing about it is when nurses who have worked at a senior level in Ghana come here to work as healthcare assistants. I've interviewed a few nurses, and what keeps coming up is that these nurses do get frustrated with the clearing system in Ghana. So they decide, oh, let me just go and work as a healthcare assistant. And when they come in, it can be intimidating, and it can be frustrating. I mean, being a nursing officer and having to come here to work as a healthcare assistant is what the issue is. Occasionally, we have some coming in pregnant, not knowing they are pregnant, and their employers are not able to support them because they are not entitled to any benefits. They have no recourse for public funds, and that can also be a problem for them. If they don't get the support of individuals and family and friends, it can be difficult. And some of them have even expressed wanting to go back. No matter how difficult things are, they will want to go back and suffer what they are suffering. But things are getting better. The hospitals are supporting them, and we are also supporting them. Recently, we've had some positive feedback, better than before. I mean, last year and the beginning of the year, people were struggling, but they are settling in with the support.
That's really good work that you are doing, especially the budding up, because at least someone will have someone to check on them or to call them or to share problems with. You mentioned that you leave leaflets at most hospitals. Do they contact you? Are you getting a lot of feedback from that, or do you have to chase people?
We do chase them. And that's one good thing about the International Nurses and Midwives Associations. If any of the associations picks up an international educated nurse from Ghana in their hospital, they will phone us. They will phone us. So Martha, there's a Ghanaian nurse here and she's struggling a bit, then we'll pick them up, yes. But our Ghanaian nurses do not engage that much, so we have to be chasing them all the time. And that can also be an issue.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's not wanting to be a bother, typical of us not wanting to be a bother. We do chase them. In the last month, we allocated 4 nurses to one of our senior members who really mentored them and with interview skills, and thankfully they're going to get onto the NHS ladder because of the support that they had preparing them for the interviews. And these are the sort of things that we're doing to help them. Yeah,
that's amazing work there. I know you've touched on some of the things that people or nurses coming from. You can advise, but then when people are keen to come, to move at all costs, sometimes the advice goes from one ear to the other. Yes. So long as, the visa and everything is ready, people are ready to go. But what advice would you give them?
Migration is healthy.
No.
That's why we say travel and see. We come here to develop our skills and to go back home and extend the skills that we have gained. So coming here is a good thing if the opportunity arises. But as you know, the WHO has an embargo on Ghana, so NHS cannot recruit directly from Ghana. But if the nurse independently finds a job on the website or on the NHS website or wherever they find a job, if they apply for the job and the hospital is happy with them and employs them, the hospital will sort out all their paperwork and their license for them to come over. That is an individual thing. But NHS cannot go into to a hospital in Ghana to recruit from the hospital, and that's what a lot of people tend to overlook. Again, since we publicize our pastoral support, a lot of people do think we are recruiting from Ghana.
Okay.
Yes, they think we are recruiting from Ghana, and this is what I keep saying to people, that GNA is not involved in recruitment. We are not involved in anything at the governmental level. What we have been asked to do by Florence Nightingale and NHS England is to support the nurses when they arrived here. We are not into how they get here, but when they are here, we will support them. So all that we need is for them to be signposted to us. We will allocate them to sectors. We do have 5 sectors. Depending on where you live, we will allocate you to someone in the sector, and they will support you. Make sure you have the right agency. There is social media. You can search an agency. You have to make sure the agency that is bringing you, it's a credible agency, an agency that's going to find you an accommodation and work when you arrive here, an agency that's going to help you integrate, get you the job, and then we can take over or we can support you. The hospitals are now employing international educated nurses or recruited nurses support, so they do help them in the hospitals. But as I said, there's nothing like someone who understands your culture and speaks your language.
Thank you. So in terms of other nursing associations, what advice would you give to them? I'm talking about the other nursing associations in the UK.
Okay. Yes, we have various nursing associations in the Ghanaian nursing associations in the UK, and we support each other. But what we are seeking is for us to work collaboratively. And when I say collaboratively, is for us to be able to embark on projects in Ghana as one big group. You cannot stop anybody from supporting their alma mater, but you can work as a big group. And by working as a larger group, you achieve more.
Yeah.
We could come together, undertake projects from one hospital to the other in Ghana. But if it's just one association, one small association trying to help a whole big hospital in Ghana, it can be difficult. But if we come together, all Ghanaian nurses coming together, go and support Kolibu this year. Next year, support Okomfanochi. The following year, support Efiem Kwanta. Another time we go to Cape Coast. Another time we go to other hospitals. As a larger group, we will achieve more, and that will be more sustainable than us trying to raise funds for Our hospitals, where does the money come from? You do not have enough money to be able to do what you want to do for your hospital. But if we come together as a larger group, we will be able to achieve more. And that's all I pray for. And now that our doctors have even signed a memorandum of understanding to work with Ghana Health Service to help with the health system in Ghana, we can work alongside them and achieve more. Because in all fairness, most of us were trained in Ghana, born in Ghana. The least we can do is to support our motherland.
Thank you. So you mentioned about the doctors signing a memorandum of understanding.
Yes.
What about Ghana Nurses Association UK? Because there are some of us, we've been here for years, we've gained the skills, we want to go back. Some people were trained in Ghana before they moved here and worked. Some people to train here. So how is the process to go back to Ghana and give back or to register with the Ghana Nurses and Midwives Council?
In January 2022, Ghana Nurses Association UK signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ghana Nurses and Midwives Council. And the aim was for them to waive the fee. Because what was stopping people from going to help in Ghana, apart from the impression of you've come to take over, yes. What was happening is that if you have left the country for 40 years, you will pay their annual fee times 40 years if you want to go to Ghana to help voluntarily. So the memorandum of understanding has waived that for you to pay for 10 years. We have invited the registrar to our 30th anniversary, and I'm sure she'll spell out a lot more on that to incorporate all other Ghanaian nursing association or Ghanaian nurses in this country who wish to go back and help. Again, if you're UK trained, you normally have to have an orientation in a reputable hospital or in a teaching hospital in Ghana for 6 months to be able to practice. That, again, was deterring people from doing that. This has been reduced to 3 months. And again, in all fairness, you can't be the status quo. When we come into this country, we do adaptation. If even you are moved from one ward or one specialty to the other, you have to have an orientation. So it's only fair that if you did not train in Ghana and do not know the practices in Ghana, it's only fair that you have some form of orientation. The reason why those of us who trained in Ghana do not have to have an orientation is we already understand the system. So that is how it is now. And I hope with that, we will all be able to go and help. Again, the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office have a proposal. They are looking at skills exchange by bringing nurses from Ghana to work here and nurses from here to work in Ghana. They are looking at starting with mental health because it's an area that we sometimes overlook. So this is another promising thing. We've also got the CPD for African nurses wanting to help in Ghana and inviting us nurses to be part of it. So there are a lot of projects, initiatives going on, and organizations wanting to help develop the health system in Ghana. So with the nurses and the doctors coming together, I'm sure we'll be able to give back.
Thank you. That will be the
Madam.
ultimate aim,
Yes.
because the skills, I often, just wonder about how much human capital or skill is going to waste. We've got so much rich in experience and skills, and it's lacking somewhere. So how to bridge these two together, one step at a time. We will get there.
We will get there. We will get there one day.
Yeah.
One day, well, it is my dream that one day we will, healthcare professionals, nurses and doctors and other allied health professionals, will go to Ghana and meet a bus waiting for us to pick us all to go to Ho Hospital, to go to Komfanochi Hospital to go and help. Our health system needs us.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to mention the Ghanaian Diaspora Nursing Alliance. So what's your collaboration and what's happening?
They had a roundtable meeting. It was a very fruitful meeting. So we are waiting for the outcome. They had a lot of senior members of health and nursing at the meeting, and they all sounded confident that a lot can be done to support our health system. And they looked at ethical migration, how they can make it safer for nurses to come and work in the UK and for nurses to go and work in Ghana. It's a work in progress, yeah.
All I can say is, following trends, myself following trends in migration and development, I think we've come a long way. We have the heart, we have the passion, we have the zeal to give, but it's just one or two things that hurdles. But I think there are groups and people trying to work around it, which is a good thing. So we are on the right path, and we pray that we can do more to support our health system back home and support each other here as well. So what is the process of joining GNA?
The process of joining GNA is just go on the GNA website and stroll down to join us. Complete the form, and the form will be picked up by our secretaries and the finance team. They will contact you, give a number, and then you pay your £50 and you get your sash, you get your t-shirts, and you get your constitution and handbook, and you're given a number and you are a member. Our 30th anniversary is coming up. Buy your tickets and join us and celebrate the day. Together we'll celebrate. The theme is the passion, dedication, commitment to communities and beyond. If we say beyond the UK and beyond Ghana. So come and join us, celebrate.
So that's happening on the 4th of November.
Connaught Rooms in Holborn, and it starts from 5:30 to 1 a.m. We still got tickets on sale. We have enough room for everybody. Come and join us, celebrate.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Martha Nugent, Chairperson of Ghana Nurses Association UK. Thank you for this conversation, and I hope it has shed some light on some questions that some people may have, or mostly nurses or other healthcare professionals. So thank you for your time.
Ghana, we now have freedom. Ghana, the land of freedom. Toils of the brave and the sweats of their labor. Toils of the brave which have brought results. Toils of the brave and the sweats of their labor. Toils of the brave which have brought results. Kwame, star of Ghana. Nkrumah, star of Ghana. Toils of the brave and the sweats of their labor. Toils of the brave which have brought